Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. In this video, we will have our discussion on the real-time case study analysis of two extreme personalities. So this will definitely give you an insight the way you can understand someone's personality traits, public image, and professional choices. So guys, like the way I always share, the idea behind any of the concept or the topic on which I make videos. So if you remember at the time when I uploaded this video couple of days back, that if your moon is going to be in the influence of any other planet, how can it color your personality? How can it influences your career choices? So at the time when I was explaining the results for influence of Rahu on someone's natal moon, so a lot many people did not like my interpretation, and they even asked me to explain it through some case studies, through some reference charts as well. So I do not know whether the universe wanted this video to happen or not. Immediate after that, I guess I came across this globally viral news that Charles Shobraj, one of the dreaded criminal, was released from the Nepal prison. So I just got intrigued. I looked at his details in Wikipedia. I key in the same details in the astrology software. So I just thought, why not we can have a discussion on his chart as well. And just because guys, in this video, like the way I mentioned this thing, that we will have our discussion on two extreme personalities. So on one side, if we have a negative example in the form of Charles Shobraj, so we will also have our discussion on a celebrated Indian spy as well, which is Ajit Doval. So I'm very much sure that a lot many people from India must be knowing about this person, who is considered as a role model, inspiration for the millions of youth in India. So okay guys, let's just start with our discussion. I will not give much time and attention on giving a background of this criminal first, Charles Shobraj. This guy was definitely there is something about his life which actually inspired so many books which has been written on his life, so many Netflix shows and documentaries which has been made on his life. So it's my request that if you do not know much about him, you can Google about his personal life. But in short, he was actually responsible for killing a lot many tourists. And just because there was a peculiar pattern which he used to follow, which gave him the name or title of a serpent killer or a bikini killer. So he was very good in masquerading, becoming friends with people. He also had expertise over many languages as well. And the way he used to conduct his criminal acts, it was very difficult for a stranger to actually sense any threat. But yes, this guy was a master in trickery, in deceit, which was responsible for a big crime career which he actually commanded in his life. So guys, after, I'm very much sure that you must have got to know a little bit about his background, about his life. Now let's give attention to his details first. So like the way I always say this thing, analysis starts right at the time when you get hold on someone's date of birth. You do not even have to open up the birth chart. Now if you will say that I am an astrologer or I am a Vastu expert, why should I be concerned or bothered about the numerology principles? But trust me, even just paying attention to as simple as the birth date number and the complete sum of the birth date, which will give you life path number, can also give you a insight into someone's personality and someone's life path. So guys, he was born on the 6th April 1944. So just because, as you can see that in his modus operandi, in his criminal acts, his charm was a very central element over there, because he never used to ambush and kill someone. He used to become friends with people. He used to gain trust of other people, and then he used to execute his nefarious intentions. So looking at the date of birth only gives us this insight that 6 is a number which is being ruled by the planet Venus. So charm, glamour, media, women, drugs, alcohol, lavish lifestyle is somehow coming in the picture. Now guys, if you will make a sum total of the complete date of birth, that will give you a total number as 19. Now if you know that 13, 14, 16 and 19 are considered as the karmic number in numerology, specifically 19 number can also indicate that one which can be seen as the energy of sun, which can be seen as fame, and 9 which is synonymous with the faith, which is connected with the planet Mars. So misuse of your fame and your faith in order to deceive people, this is what we can see with this kind of energy which we are getting from his life path number. Now guys, just because I do not want to get into this kind of argument or debate that this is not his ascendant or this is not his lagna basis his personality. Now whether which lagna will fit his life or his personality, that will come at the latter stage. But one thing is for sure, that if you will only give attention to that in which zodiac sign planets were transiting at the time when he was born, which all major planetary conjunction was there, that will also give you an insight about his personality. So guys, if you will look at over here at the time when he was born, so major planetary presence at the time of his birth. So his moon was in the Leo zodiac sign on that specific day, and that too in the Purva Falguni. So one more insight over here, that not only he was born on the 6th, but his moon was also placed in the Purva Falguni nakshatra, a nakshatra which represents comforts, enjoyment, luxury. Second thing is that at the time of his birth, Venus and Sun were conjunct in the Pisces sign. So that also tells about that his moon nakshatra lord was exalted at the time when he was born. After that guys, if you will look at his main epicenter thing in his details, which is he was born at the time when Jupiter was exalted in the Cancer and it was conjunct with Rahu. Now this will definitely give us this insight that in his whole criminal career, a lot many time he remained lucky, not only in duping people or conning people or tricking people, but also even to escape from the prisons as well. Like he hold this kind of record that not only from the Indian prison, from the African prisons, from the European prisons, how many very heavily guarded prisons he was able to escape. So over here in his details, we can actually see the influence of the planets, that definitely Jupiter is exalted, Jupiter is glorified, but he actually utilized this good luck only for the wrong reasons, just in order to commit crime and in order to fulfill his intentions. After that guys, if you look at over here in his chart, he was born at the time when Mars was transiting in the Gemini. So Mars, which is the chief planet of aggression, of violence, of desires, was agitated. Now just because guys, in his case, smooth talking was his major area of expertise. So Mars in the zodiac sign of communication and Mercury was in the Aries. Now we can fairly see a exchange of signs between these two planets. Mars is placed in the sign of the planet Mercury in Gemini, and Mercury is placed in the sign of Mars, which is Aries. And lastly guys, Saturn was placed in the Taurus sign. Now guys, we always say this thing that whenever Saturn is in a way influencing this zodiac sign, which originally represents your financial management. So if Saturnian energy is not working in a dignified way, because Saturn and Mercury are the chief significator of these kind of criminal mindset and criminal activities, it can lead towards that as well, but definitely overall chart has to indicate in that direction. So now guys, after this, now I do not take any guarantee over here that he is going to be carrying this lagna or this chart only, but basis my observation of his life, I somehow or intuitively, I somehow feel that he must have born during at that time which could give this as the lagna, Aries as the lagna. Now I have valid points to support that. So just because guys, as you can see that for someone to be this brutal, that this person is not hesitating enough in killing so many people, and his confidence that even after committing so many crimes, he is still have this degree and sense of conviction that he will never get caught. So guys, if you will look at over here, with this Aries Lagna, Mercury is placed right over there in his first house, which tells about a very friendly demeanor and most importantly expertise in so many languages. Now where the ascendant lord has gone, that has gone to the third house. So definitely when we talk about aggression or brutality, so Mars being agitated in the third house, and if we will look at the 10th house, Ketu is being placed over there, and Mars is also looking at it with its 8th aspect. So that also tells about a life which is very much driven towards brutality and these kind of aggressive actions. After that guys, if you will look at his 4th house, definitely his Jupiter is exalted over there, but it is conjunct with Rahu. Like the way I always say this thing, that a lot many times with this kind of alignment, Rahu can like Jupiter can actually grant you good luck, but Rahu can actually keep on creating distortion over there as well. So a lot many times it might support you, it might protect you, but suddenly when everything is going fine, you will get caught. So this is how luck can betray you whenever Rahu influences Jupiter. And apart from that guys, if you will look at here, that his moon is placed in the 5th house, that too in the Purva Falguni Nakshatra, and the lord of the Purva Falguni, Venus, is exalted in the 12th house, and 5th house lord, Sun, is also being conjunct with Venus in the 12th house. So lot of secrets, lot of clandestine activities, and extreme hedonism. So yes guys, this is how we can see. You start your analysis right from the time you get hold on someone's date of birth, and if you will start knitting down all these minute details, it will definitely land you at making a good judgment on someone's personality, someone's psychology, and someone's overall complete life. After that guys, like after looking at a criminal, let's look at the case of a very celebrated Indian spy who is the kind of inspiration for millions of the youth from India. So guys, this person, actually I also have got a very emotional connection with this person as well, because he belongs to the same terrain from where I come from, India, from the Uttarakhand, from the Garhwal. So yes guys, Ajit Doval sir, if you will look at his birth details first. So guys, he is born on the January 20th, 1945. First attention we have to give is the birth date vibration, which is the of number 2, a number being controlled, ruled by the moon. Now guys, if you will look at his operations which he has successfully performed throughout in his professional journey. So whether we talk about like if you will if you are someone from outside of India, so you have to read little bit about him. So there was a time when there were lot many insurgencies in the northeastern part of India, and he was the one who was responsible for resolving major conflicts. Like he was very good in doing those kind of diplomatic talks, or these kind of ransom talks, or these kind of talks with all these militant groups. So whether we take up the case of one of the person who was named Lal Denga, and there were some sort of insurgencies in different parts, then it happened at the time when Punjab was also facing lot of problems, and in so many parts, like whether India's diplomatic connections and issues with the neighboring country Pakistan. So in lot many of those operations, he was able to perform his job with complete expertise, and somehow a lot many experts believe this thing, that the main ice breaking or the commendable thing about Ajit Doval is that without resorting to violence, without resorting to any threats, how to convince someone in front of you. So over there, moon actually plays a very pivotal role. So birth date vibration is giving us that insight about the personality. Second thing is that the life path number. Now if we will make a sum total of his complete birth details, that will give you the number 4, number of Rahu. a life dedicated, devoted towards all these kind of covert operation, life of a spy. After that, guys, at the time when he was born, now where the planets were transiting. So guys, if you will look at over here, he is born with the moon in the Aries, with moon in the Ashwini nakshatra. So we all know that with Ashwini there is a lot of quickness which is attached with it. Apart from the healing potential, apart from the being very dynamic, being very kind of quick to actions, quick thought process, but yes, his moon was placed in the Aries. Now guys, the second most striking feature in his planetary presence is at the time when he was born that Rahu was placed in the Gemini sign. So now guys, as you know this thing that the chief duty of a spy is the processing of information, the exchange of information in a very secretive way. And as you know that Rahu is the master of disguise. So not only Rahu was placed in the Gemini, but it was also conjunct with Saturn as well. So guys, whenever Saturn comes in play, it somehow gives you a very trusted network of intels, of informers. And as you know that like all these two planets like Saturn and Rahu are the chief planet which are responsible for these kind of underworld kind of activities. So we can say this thing for sure that whatsoever media and the masses know right now, the information which has come through him, that is still the 20% of the overall information which he still is very much aware of. Now guys, he was born at the time when Mars, Mercury and Ketu were conjunct in Sagittarius. Now trust me, this is a typical combination of patriotism to its extreme. And guys, Mercury represents your intelligence. So Mercury being in the influence of Mars and Ketu definitely gives this sort of dynamic thought process, very fearless personality, like a very strong debater. After that guys, he was born with a sun being placed in the Capricorn, which is a good sign for dealing well with the authority, getting along well with the government. Venus was placed in the Aquarius. Now again, whenever we talk about a life of a spy, so you need to be well enough in getting acquainted and familiar with your assigned territory. And after that guys, Jupiter was placed in the Virgo. So somehow perfection and expansion with this disciplined approach we can see. Now guys, I cannot take any guarantee of his this ascendant and this chart, but just because I made use of my intuition, I observed his life, his personality, and there are certain peculiar traits as well, like somehow looking at his face, his hairline, somehow it looks like to be the prominence of Leo in his life. And when I made Leo as his ascendant and I started studying the planets from over there, so I somehow found the resonance, because as you can see that ascendant lord has gone to the 6th house. So that in itself tells about a life filled with, a life path filled with dealing with enemies, challenges, competition, lot many obstacles. After that guys, if you will look at his like moon being placed in the 9th house, so somehow 4th house and 9th house plays a very pivotal role in granting someone this sort of extreme patriotism. After that guys, when we talk about the way your mind function, over here in his 5th house, his Mars, Mercury and Ketu are being conjunct over there, and most importantly Saturn and Rahu's placement in his 11th house. And like the way guys, I already mentioned this thing that when we talk about the results which comes from the 11th house, specifically whenever Saturn is placed in the 11th house, more than the power, authority, it gives you respect. Your success, your deeds actually inspire millions of people, which we can fairly see in his alignment in his 11th house. So this was a certain way guys by which I wanted to make you understand how to do the analysis of charts, or like when it comes down to the role of Rahu in its positivity, in its negativity, how you can see its influence. Like influence of Rahu on an exalted Jupiter can also make someone a dreaded criminal. An influence of Rahu being exalted and conjunct with Saturn, which is otherwise called as the Shrapit Pitra Dosha, can actually grant you respect and success in the society. So this is something, guys, which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs. For furthermore updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page. Dhanyawad.